Blog Talk Radio.
That's right. It is all up to you, and welcome to From Time Without Beginning, where your reality does not create your point of view, but your point of view creates your reality. We are all infinite beings, and we are all omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. We are hyper-local and hyper-temporal, which means we are everywhere and every when. And today is your chance to experience a little of your infinite potential. I'm Tim Janakos, your host and certified emotion code practitioner and student of the Body Code, Quantum Touch 2.0, three-dimensional therapy, access consciousness, and a few other healing modalities. But today I have a special guest coming on, and she's an amazing person. Her name is Sharon Blauer. I'm going to turn down my music in the background if I can find the switchboard. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's my song called It's All Up to You from my new CD called The Beginning is Here. And the guest we have on, Sharon Blauer, she is, for the last 20 years or so, she's been in the field of holistic medicine, which looking at her picture, she looks like she's 27, so I guess she started when she was about 7 years old. No, I'm not sure how old she is. But she studied at the renowned Arthur Findlay College. I can't even know if I say that right. In England. She studied mediumship, trance healing, and psychic development. And she also did holistic healing studies in Thailand, India, Egypt, Europe, the U.S., and Canada, which included Thai, Swedish, Ayurvedic, and holistic massages, and therapeutic touch, Trager, I don't even know what that is, polarity therapy, color healing, sound healing, and aura reading. And she's done a lot more. She's got all these certifications. I can't read them all, but there's just tons of different certifications she does. Well, let's just see if I can find her on the switchboard again. Oh, there she is. Okay. So welcome to the call. Sharon, how are you doing?
Great. How about yourself?
Great. So it sounds like your volume is a little lower. I can only hear you a little
okay.
bit.
I'll try to bring my mouth thingy a little closer. Is that better?
Okay, that's good. That's a little better, yeah. Okay, I wonder if there's no way in this switchboard here to turn up the sound on this different mic, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Well, it looks like we already have about, God, I can't even count the calls. It's gone off the board already, but so it's going to be a great show. Before we start, I just kind of gave a little brief record of things you do. Maybe you can just tell us how you got all into this stuff and what you do.
Okay, sure. Sure. I mean, I you're right. I did start at a very young age. I was a disillusioned youth, and I guess I find a lot of spiritually inclined or healer inclined people tend to have gone through rough beginnings, which led them onto a different path. And so I was no different. I had some personal challenges, and there was also a lot of deaths in the family at an early age for me. And so I kind of felt helpless. You know, you sit by them at the hospital, and there's nothing really you can do besides, give them flowers and hold their hands. And I eventually decided, to look into something more profound. When I was 17, my aunt was dying of cancer in the hospital, And I managed to get sick at that time myself. And a friend of my mother's knew the healer. And since the doctors couldn't help me at that time, I decided, well, nothing to lose. I went to work with him. After a couple of sessions, there was no more pain. And he said, I don't think it's an accident you came to see me. He says, you have the same healing energies that I do. And so from that point, I started learning how to heal, but I'd already been into tarot cards from 14 onwards. And so, from that, it's just been learning different modalities, seeing what works for different people. And I find that, as I'm sure you know, some people are more tactile. They like to be touched, so reflexology and so on is useful for them. But the great thing about energy work is that it doesn't matter where in the world they are, as you all know. They can be helped, and they can also be read. So
Yeah.
that's my story in a nutshell.
Well, so you went to what is the school in England? I've heard it, but
yeah, it's
sounds
funny.
like where
It's
Harry
got the
Potter
nickname
studied.
of Hogwarts. Because it's wonderful. I always feel very much at home, and I always tell people, especially if they're really wanting to become serious about their mediumistic development, to check that place out. There's some very gifted mediums there, very gifted psychics and healers. And one of the things that I enjoy about them, besides the fact that they're good at what they do and they care, is their humor. They don't take themselves too seriously. Maybe they take the caliber of their work seriously, but they're around, telling jokes, and they're just regular people. And sometimes, admittedly, I have a bit of a challenge when healers or metaphysicians get a little too high and mighty and, a little too serious. I always joke, in my sessions, unless, of course, is, not appropriate, but I find, laughter heals. Laughter healed, Norman Cousins. So it's all a part and parcel of what we do.
Definitely. Yeah, I always tell people when I'm working on someone, I just work here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the other really, really valid thing also.
I just work here. Don't ask me a question.
We're just channels. We're just, glorified satellite dishes at the end of the day. We receive data, we receive healing, and we just transmit. So it's hard to get a big head about that.
Yeah. So we have about so many callers. You want to start with taking a caller, or you said you wanted to do a group healing. Do you want to do that towards the end of the call, or do you want to do that at the beginning?
Well, maybe how about towards the middle of the call, so we can break it up a little bit.
That sounds good. Perfect. So I have so many callers. I have people in Maine. I have people in Los Angeles. I have people in Washington State. I have people in the 917 area code, which I don't even know where that is. I have people all over. So what area code do you like better? Something starting with a 2 or a 3 or a 6 or an 8 or a 5 or a
Give me a
9?
6.
Give me a 6. Okay. What do I have in the 6? Okay, so we're going to go with the 6-2. Oh, we're going to go with Lisa. She's called in before. Okay. So 620 area code, Lisa. How are you? And
Hello?
Where are you calling from? I forgot.
Well,
Lisa, where do you call from again?
Kansas.
Hi. Kansas, that's
Lisa?
right. Okay, Kansas.
Well, I have a very
with,
bad migraine today.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, why don't we prioritize that for part of your well, we'll do a bit of group healing, but if you like, we can spend a few minutes working on your migraine, if that's okay with you,
That
Tim.
would be great.
Okay, so I just need you to relax, just take a few cleansing breaths, and of course, anybody else who happens to be on the line who's also suffering from any headaches, migraine issues, feel free to follow along, because I will extend the energy out to you. Okay. So again, just relax. I'll do all the work, or rather, they'll do all the work. I'll do all the channeling. There we go. That's better. Okay, so just taking it in. That's it. That's all you got to do. I'm still channeling, but it's feeling as though you're a bit dehydrated, so I would encourage you to do a bit of drinking afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, just give me some feedback on how you're doing at the moment.
It's still tight in a couple places, especially at the back of my head on the right side. It does feel better.
Good. All right, so we're just going to keep doing it for a little while longer. And again, those of you also on the call may as well drink in the energies as well. So enjoy. Okay, there was a big release there. Okay, how about now?
There's still some residual there. I don't know, in my makeup, there's something that says this is something I want to hang on to, and I don't know why.
Oh, that's very true. And it feels sort of mother-related.
Ah, very good.
Mm-hmm. And it is Mother's Day, so it makes perfect. So sometimes it's better to do than to feel. We have our backup guilt machine. Hang on. So just mentally say to yourself, if this is true, that you're willing to let go of this. Obviously, if it isn't, that's okay too. You got to be true to where you are. Okay, how are we doing now?
I'd say it's about 70 to 80% better.
Awesome. Well, that's not bad for 5 minutes or so.
No, it's not.
Wow. So, Lisa, thank you so much. Stay on the line. We're going to do a group healing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hang up on, or I'm not going to hang up. I'm going to put you on mute there. Lisa, thank you for calling in. Bye-bye. So before we take another caller, I forgot to give out your home website. So to find out a lot more about Sharon, go to www.sharon. How do I say? Oh, Sharon's Alternatives. That's what it is. I was looking at salt. That's not it. Sharon's Alternatives. SHARONS, and then Alternatives. ALTERNATIVES.com. So when you're working with her, how do you, like for me, I do body code, emotion code mostly, which I do muscle testing to pick up. How do you pick up what you're picking up?
Well, I'm predominantly reading her aura. So I'm seeing where the blockages are. I'm tuning into causes related to the blockage or to the pain. And then, of course, I'm just channeling energy. And as you know, the energy has its own intelligence as well, so it knows where to go. And then I get a little signal when it's time to check in to see how a client is doing. So, for example, as we were working, I got that sense of dehydration in the system. And, without going into too much personal details, because, this is a public thing, there are some emotional issues and happiness issues, okay? So that's part of it. So I tune into the underlying cause, which to me speaks of a certain dissatisfaction with the situation in her life. Again, I could go into more detail, but and perhaps in other calls, if I get their permission, I'll do so. But there you have it. So it's sort of like an X-ray and then a treatment.
Oh, great. So we have a couple just came on international calls, and I don't know, they're from the only ones that are not from the U.S. So you want to take an international call?
Why not? Sure.
Okay. So I don't know where you're calling in from, but whoever's calling in internationally, could you say your name?
Hi, Tim. This is Abhishek calling from India.
Abhishek.
Hello.
Great. Okay, so Abhishek has called in many times. He's in India now.
Yeah, I lived there for a year and a half.
Fine. Oh, great.
How can I help you today?
Sharon, actually, I'm just, I have been working with Tim for quite some time now. And I just want to ask you if you could pinpoint any blockages which are stopping me from progressing ahead in my career.
Well, I mean,
life.
the very first, sorry to interrupt you. It's just that the very first thing I'm sensing is that some of the blockages are from outside of yourself, i.e. other people.
Okay.
It feels you have an editor on the outside who is sort of discouraging you from certain ideas that you have. And you need to understand that it's more to do with their own sense of personal limitations than your own capabilities.
Right. That's very interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm getting influenced by a couple of people in my life, and I'm kind of getting confused about my own abilities.
Well, that's why, something, what I would advise to you is to talk to somebody who actually has your best interests at heart. Because you are actually, you're a bit of an innovator. You're a person who comes up with good ideas. And it really feels like they just get quelched. They just get stopped in their tracks, before they've really had a time to germinate and come to fruition, Again, it's an outside source. And so, sometimes you may want to just keep some of these great ideas, to yourself, or at least, don't tell them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I have that habit.
Yeah.
I
understand it because you're excited, you come up with this great idea, and, it's like you've invented fire and you just told the fireman, and here he comes with the hose.
Right. Sharon, is there anything I can do consciously not? Because I've tried so many times, but I find that my subconscious is not supporting me to move ahead. And I mean, I have done many sessions with him.
Yeah, I hear you. The first thing that comes up that would be helpful to you is NLP. And I know, where are you in India?
Sharon, currently I'm in New Delhi.
New Delhi, okay. Because I know that there was a person who was teaching NLP in Mumbai, in Bandra.
Sure. Right.
NLP feels like a very effective tool for you, as does hypnosis, but I would say more deeper trance levels of hypnosis. Because again, you know, when you have these inner voices, it's nothing but tape recordings. And so, you know, instead of yelling at the tape recorder, which is only, you know, playing you the past, you want to erase it. And so NLP, hypnosis, EFT, and so on, these are all effective tools to erase programming that is not serving you anymore.
Great. I think that's a very wonderful.
Also, there's some blockages in your system as well that's contributing to that, and that also things like shiatsu, acupressure, of course, energy work would help with that. But I feel that there's a big blockage towards in your lower chakra area. It's sort of like you probably feel it in the lower back.
Yeah. Okay. Is it related to survival? Is it related to the fact that I can't take care of myself?
Well, here's the thing. You've learned not to take care of yourself. I'm not saying you don't have challenges. I'm not saying you don't have challenges. But there's a bit of a feeling of what we call learned helplessness. And it has more to do with, again, the conditioning. You know, some people don't know. You know, I don't know. I can't even remember his name. Perhaps you know his name, Tim. Is a guy who doesn't have legs. You know, he has like one foot and no arms, and he's working miracles because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I've seen his videos. I don't know who he is, though. I forget his name.
Vader Chuck or Vader, something like that.
Okay. So I have noted that. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon, also I have a little pain in my forehead, which I have been working with him for quite some time. I know it could be bad programming from past, but I just wanted to know if you could do something about it on this call today.
Okay, well, let's have a look.
Yeah, he's had some major pain in his back of his neck and his head, and he's gone to everybody. And I've tried, and I brought it down, but it's not anywhere where he feels he can live with it.
Yeah, but you know, again, I don't want to get too esoteric. That issue in itself is going back, not even in this life. It's going back to past lives. So again, you know, hypnosis to me would be a good option, like past life regression, or even life between life regression. But you know, I can certainly help with what you're feeling. But this is a deep thing. This is not something that's going to be cured in 5 minutes. That we can certainly do work, because I am feeling the congestion. So that's up to you. That's up to both of you.
Right.
Shall I do the healing?
Yeah,
sure,
if you could just a little on him, maybe.
Okay. All right. Sure. Okay. So again, just relax. Let go. Okay. I'm seeing something else in your auric field. You've got a bit of company, so I'm just going to get rid of that for you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, how are you doing?
Yeah, I feel something, but can't say exactly what it is, but I find a little bit relief kind of thing.
Sorry, can you say that again? Because I heard some of it, but not everything.
But I was feeling a little bit tight in my stomach area, but I feel a little bit lighter now.
Good. How about further
Yeah.
up in your body?
Sorry?
How about further up? Is there a feeling at all of a lightening in your head? Because it feels like something very heavy got lifted.
Yeah, yes, absolutely right, yeah. I do feel that as well, yeah, definitely.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that should help make things more easy for you because, I don't want to get too, as some people call it, woo-woo, but it feels as though there was an attachment with you. So that was removed, and I think that's going to make the flow go that much more smoothly with you. And also your thought process were probably influenced by that as well. So I'd be grateful actually if you kept in touch with me just to let me know how that goes in the next few days.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much.
You're very, very
Sharon?
welcome. Yeah.
My wife is also here. If you have just a few minutes, she wanted to also ask you for healing.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, Sharon.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Moksha.
Yep. Hello, Moksha.
Yeah. I would be really grateful if you could guide me regarding my career. I always wanted to be into healing and therapy.
Sorry, it's just you have to please speak just a little bit more slowly because I'm for some reason I'm having a bit of a challenge hearing. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be slow. I wanted to take guidance from you regarding my career because I want to be a healer and therapist, but I want some guidance, as in like right now I'm doing the job, but I want to be independent healer and therapist. But I feel there are some blocks, and I'm not probably anxious, I'm not really that feeling confident to really start my own practice. And it has always been like that I sometimes feel that though I've got good reviews from some clients I've worked independently, but to completely let go of my job and really start a full-time practice, I somewhere feel blocked on that account. So, and I also wanted to know what is the area that would be most suitable for me to work as a therapist and independent healer.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, I was sensing that you have especially a gift in the area of the mental. So again, I would as opposed to channeling. Not that you wouldn't be channeling, but it feels more intellectual. It feels more mental. It feels more, either psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, along those lines.
Yes.
That would be more your thing. Yeah. But also, you are good with your hands, and by good with your hands, I would say more, movement-oriented. As opposed to Reiki, where you're sort of placing your hands, I would see you actually manipulating. So
I did understand that. A good hand.
Like chiropractic work or Traeger work. Traeger is very good. And it also feels like you're very conscientious in the sense that you like to record things and mark improvements and tweak here and there, and you're not shy to ask for assistance from other people if you're not sure of something, which is very important because a lot of people sort of let their egos get in the way. But I don't see you like that, so definitely some collaboration. As I'm sure you know, when you're switching or transitioning in careers, it's always a good idea to slowly integrate, to slowly make that transition, starting in the after hours of the other work that you do and slowly building up a client base. But I would encourage you to attend conferences, meetings where you meet other people, and you share ideas as well as, potentially share clients. Hang on a second. Yeah, I would discourage you from trainings that are not, it sounds obvious, but yet there's so much out there. I would discourage you from trainings that are not sort of certified, that are not, that don't give you credentials that are recognized, especially by the medical profession or the more conventional thing, because I see you working. I see you being able to have a good relationship with them. And me, I'm not about either conventional medicine or holistic. I'm about, how can both be of service? What is the best way to help people, And you seem to be able to make that link to the conventional side that others may be too maverick or too, alternative, shall we say, to do. Does that help?
And what modalities should I focus on?
Moksha, we have so many callers today, so maybe that's all we can do today. Okay, Moksha?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Sorry
Okay.
for that.
Thanks, Moksha.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. Take care, you
Good
guys.
luck.
Thanks.
Keep
You can always
listening,
be
and
in
thank
touch.
you. Okay. And both of them are on my Facebook, so I'll get them on your Facebook so they'll know how to get a hold of you. So, wow. We already went 30
it is hard
minutes.
to get a lot in in 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I didn't want it to go longer and longer and longer with them because it could be all night. So you wanted to do a group healing. You want to go to that now, or you want to take more callers?
That would be great, yeah. And in fact, I'm sort of being told to help people get more in touch with their guides, with their, and with their own inner intuition. So that could be, it'll be healing unto itself, but also it'll be educational, I think.
Okay, let's do that.
Great. Okay. So for those of you who are on the line, just again, take some nice cleansing breaths. So inhaling, hold your breath for a few seconds to oxygenate, and release. And once again, inhaling, holding for a few seconds, nourish the cells, and release. And I'd like for you to continue that mode of breathing. That's it, and just relax. And I'm just going to have you imagine this violet light coming down to your crown, top of your head. And as it comes down, it soothes, it opens up the crown chakra. And it relieves you of all your tensions, all your burdens of the day, brings you down. Violet light comes down to the third eye, in the back of the third eye, in the back of your head. Opening up the third eye and relaxing. Coming all the way down now. Down to the nose, the lips, the cheeks, to the throat chakra. Opening the throat chakra, which is also a seat of communication for the guides. And releasing any repressed words, thoughts. Well, a lot of people have blocked throat chakras on this call, so we're just going to leave it there for a few seconds. Opening up. That's better. And again, inhaling, opening up the throat chakra, releasing what's no longer serving you. And down to the heart chakra, in the center of the chest. opening up the heart chakra, letting that violet energy in. And we're just going to stop there for a moment, and we're going to let some healing energy in at this time. Powerful healing energy. And again, with your permission only. If you don't want to be part of this, that's okay. Just mentally say, I don't want to do this. There's no pressure. There we go. We have some people who are already feeling some activity in their hearts. So some people on this call have some heart conditions. So this is very important for them. And also some grief issues. Okay. And we're moving down to the solar plexus, letting that violet energy come in, and just knowing that the solar plexus is where your gut reactions come from, right? There's a concentration of nerve endings, and it's very important that you learn to trust the gut. Many of us have had to learn the hard way, so you don't have to learn the hard way. If something doesn't feel right, it isn't right. You don't have to know why. It's always better to know why, but you don't have to. So once again, letting that energy come in. And now you're going to start to feel, those of you who are sensitive enough, and it's always something you can work on to develop, not only something you're born with. Now those of you who are sensitive will start to feel your guides coming in closer. So you should start to feel a presence. And just notice what you're feeling. Notice your sensations. Notice what's happening. Remember, you have 5 senses, and the 6th is just all 5 on a higher level, right? So notice what your senses are picking up, and trust them. You don't have to understand them, but trust that you're feeling what you're feeling. And it's very important. It's interesting. Somebody recently wrote me to say, you know, what's the best thing I can do to help me in my development, because this is something I teach. And I told them the very first thing is trust yourself. It may sound cliche, but it is crucial. If you think you felt something, you felt something. Regardless if somebody around you can validate it. Again, just notice the energies that are coming your way. And if you have any questions for your guides at this time, now's a good time to ask. And just send it out there. Don't wait for an answer. Just send it out like a bubble, like a balloon. And trust that it's been received. And I'm being told we can go now to the lower chakra, so to the 2nd chakra. And a lot of people on this call have some mid to lower back issues, so this will help you with that. A lot of people with blocked creativity, and challenging relationships. Just opening up that creative space. And again, just notice how you're feeling in the lower back. A lot of work going in right now in the lower back area. And also for those of you with feelings of helplessness, this is helping you right now. And down to the root chakra, the hip area, grounding, all right. Feeling safe again on the planet. That's it, and letting that energy root in, down the legs, down to the feet, grounding you in place. And just take a moment to thank your guides for helping you. And in a moment, we're going to come out of this feeling rested, rejuvenated, healed, and having connected with our guides, having a better sense of closeness with them. When I count to 5, you'll be eyes open, wide awake, and feeling wonderful. 1, 2, coming back into the room or wherever you are. 3, thanking your guides. 4, and 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling rested and rejuvenated. Welcome back.
That was great.
Right, so how was it for you, Tim?
Good. I'm Buddhist. I grew up Buddhist all my life. So in Buddhism we call Shoten Zenjins, which are protective forces in the environment in the universe.
Oh yeah.
But I've never really felt I feel like they're always there protecting me, but I don't know, like some people feel like they have spirit guides and stuff, but I can't sense them. And while you were doing that, I'm like, come on, please show me where you are, because I never can sense they're there, even though I feel like I'm always protected, like I should have died a million times. And one time I crashed my motorcycle in this tunnel, and my motorcycle landed on my leg, and I had to take me like a half hour to get it off my leg because my motorcycle was really big. And I was just stuck in this tunnel, and it was in the middle of the mountains in Japan where no one was. And I was afraid I'd be stuck there, but I felt like that's the only time I felt like there was someone there with me the whole time. And it was like,
oh yeah,
I had to try to get this motorcycle, this huge motorcycle, off my leg, and I was underneath it in this mud. And the whole time I just kept feeling like there's someone there just like going, it's okay, you're going to do it. Just give yourself time, relax, you're going to get up.
Wow.
So I got up, and I'm looking around this tunnel. I yelled out, where are you? But yeah, I don't know. I know that I have these. Everyone has them, no matter what their religious beliefs are, and
yeah, even atheists have them.
I want to be more connected with those. So I was glad you did that exercise.
Yeah.
So maybe tonight when I go to sleep, I'll maybe.
Yeah, you connect with them.
Connected.
It's the best time, right before bedtime when your brain is in alpha.
Yeah.
And just when you wake
so
up.
We have a lot of new callers that I've never called.
I just want to make a couple quick comments.
Okay.
Because a lot of people that they're saying, what is an aura, right? They want to know what an aura is.
Yeah.
Of course, it's this energy field that is essentially you. And 48 hours before you die, your aura starts to break up. And 24 hours before you die, there's no aura at all. So, if you want to see if you're on the wrong airplane, you see a bunch of people without auras, it's probably a good idea to take the bus or let them. But it was interesting when I was a kid. Well, not kid. I was around 18 or so, relative kid. I was studying theater, and we were studying the ancient Greek tragedies and so on. And there were lots of gods in these stories. So somebody asked our teacher, "Do you believe in God?" And he says, "No, I don't believe in God, and I'll tell you why." And he's talking about the famines and the plagues and the wars and disease and all this, and the Hitlers and the Stalins and and he doesn't believe that there's anything after this life. This life is it, and that's it. And the interesting thing was, the more he spoke about it, the more his aura was expanding and expanding, getting more brilliant. So it was interesting to watch his immortal soul talk about atheism and how there's nothing after life. I guess he goes for that. But one other thing.
So what about someone?
Yeah, go ahead.
What about someone like me who can't see auras, or people listening in that can't see auras? How can we learn?
Here's the thing. First of all, I that's something I actually teach. I give workshops in that. And I don't believe that anybody doesn't see the aura. Or rather, they don't, everybody senses the aura on some level. And that's proven also, with NLP. They talk about how communication is very little. Like there's 20-some% that has to do with the words you actually say, and everything else has to do with body language, tone of voice, and I believe the energy field. Because people pick up your energy one way or the other. You either feel it in your gut, it's a sense thing, or any other, sensory skill. There's clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clear knowing. So the question is, everybody thinks that, reading the aura is seeing the aura. And certainly you can see colors if you develop that skill. That was the first thing that I developed when I was 14, was reading the aura, or seeing the aura. But then I realized I was much more useful in terms of sensing people through what is called clairsentience, where I sense the aura. I literally enter somebody else's skin, in a way, to feel what they're feeling on the emotional level, the physical level, and so on. So it's not seeing so much as feeling. So I'm sure that on some level you do feel. You get a sense of people without having to know them very well, right?
Yeah.
So it's
luckily sorry.
No, it's okay. There's some very good books also people can pick up. There's Barbara Ann Brennan's book, Hands of Light. There's Carolyn Mace's book, Anatomy of the Spirit, which was an inspiration for me because I learned medical clairsentience after, having been inspired by her work. But, everybody can sense. Sometimes I feel people are blocking certain things. And again, without getting too woo-woo, but, those of us who have past lives where we were persecuted, or present lives where we were persecuted for seeing dead people, for example, I talk to the deceased, we'll be less inclined to do it, and therefore we can create blocks for ourselves. Many times when I see people, it's not that they have to start from zero to become psychic. It's that they have to remove the blocks that are preventing them from using a skill they already have within them.
Maybe that's
And
what
there
I
was
need
just
to
one
do.
other thing I wanted to. There was one other thing I wanted to bring up. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the gentleman from India who called. But
Abhishek.
Abhishek, yes, thank you. When I was tuning into him, there was a lot of this, as I mentioned, outside of him, negative stimuli, shall we say, negative talk. And I've gone through that. That was one of the things that made me a stronger intuitive, was having somebody who was questioning my skills, or questioning my perceptions. And they call it gaslighting, Or I had a boyfriend who was like that, who, was cheating and was trying to cover his tracks. So, my gut was telling me one thing and he was telling me something else. And I learned the hard way, trust your gut. And you don't always have to know why your gut is telling you, don't get on that plane, or go to that job interview, even though it doesn't seem like something you'd be interested in. Trust your gut. It's your best friend.
So if, for example, if Abhishek is around the people that are not supporting his best, and he's in that situation where he needs to be around these people because financially he's living with them, or
right.
How does he take them out of his?
No, but that's a very good question. There's a couple of things. I mean, for some people, EFT helps. So when he's in the privacy of his, own room or whatever, when nobody's around, he can be tapping. I know Karen Davidson, does a lot of that with you.
Yeah.
And there's also, speaking of Buddhism, there's mindfulness, right? So a meditation technique whereby you're just letting everything around you become neutral. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. And the more you do that, the more the negative emotional charge that comes with it, becomes subdued. And then, you can hear it and it's not, affecting you. And you realize, oh yes, that's their stuff. I don't have to make it my stuff.
Yeah. That's one of the callers I'm having come on this next week does Access Consciousness. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Access Consciousness, but
yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So their tool is Who Does This Belong To? Which actually with Abhishek we've had that come up so many times. Like he said he has pain. I said it doesn't belong to you. It's you're picking it up from the earth, or you're picking it up from someone around you. So with a lot of it are his thoughts.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm sure you've addressed this before, but it, the last few years also, the boundaries have been thinning. The aura has been thinning to the point where a lot of people who were not sensitive in the past are sensitive now, and they may be picking up, as you mentioned, they may be picking up emotions, thought processes that are not even their own. I know when I first opened up wide, I went to a party of a friend of mine, and I attended it, and she had a bunch of cats, and there was a cat sitting next to me, and I'm looking at the cat, and all of a sudden I developed an itch on my left side, and as I'm lifting my hand up to go scratch the itch, that cat scratched itself on its side, and my itch went away. And I went, uh-oh.
Yeah, just your awareness. Yeah, exactly.
So people need to become aware of that, and
Yeah, with Access Consciousness, they just tell you just to say it out loud. Just say,
sure.
Who does this belong to? With all your thoughts, all your feelings, all your pains, all your everything, and most of them, by just saying that, will go away because they're not yours.
Exactly.
Or you'll become aware maybe where they're coming from.
Well, that's it. If somebody in your office blows up and your anger goes away, bingo.
Yeah. So I have a couple new callers, and I'm interested to know where actually do you? I know you're not at your home now, but where do you normally live? What state?
Based in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, Toronto. That's right. You said Canada. Okay, so it looks like I don't have any that I know that are from Canada, but we have a few callers from New York, and I haven't helped them before. You want to take a New York caller?
Sure.
Okay, let's take, maybe this will be the last one. We'll see how long it goes.
Okay.
Let's see. Person in New York, what's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, I know you're calling from New York. What am I saying?
My name is.
What's your name?
My name is Tanya Deacon.
I'm sorry. Tanya, okay.
Give me a second time.
Have you called in before?
No, I haven't.
Okay, good. Okay, so go ahead.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. I've been having some severe pain in my left foot, and I'm not sure if I should focus on alternative medicine or Western to heal it.
Okay.
And it seems like I've had conflicting opinions on whether it's muscle or tendon related, and I was wondering if you could give me guidance with that.
Sorry, you were saying muscle or?
Tendon.
Okay. Hang on a sec. So I'm definitely feeling a muscular association with that. One thing that I'm sensing would be good for you for that, and I've only recently learned about it. It's something called dolphin neurostim, and it's sort of like an acupuncture, but it's with electrical stimulation, and it feels like it would be a good fit for that particular issue. But I'm happy to do some healing.
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay. 1 second. Yeah, I mean, it's also feeling as though you have some issues further up the body, like the mid to lower back. That's not helping the issue, but so I'm going to work on that as well. Okay, let me know how you're doing at the moment.
I feel a bit more relaxed. I'm not going to really check my foot because I don't want to really.
Understood.
Yeah. But
No, I perfectly understand that. Yeah, I mean, it seems to be something that's actually running along the length of your left side. So it's not limited to the foot. It's just that's where you're feeling the pain. But the cause is running all the way down. And it doesn't feel like a new issue. I mean, I don't know how long you've been feeling that pain, but the issue itself is I'm getting, like childhood, the origin.
Could you be more specific? I give you permission.
Yeah, let me, hang on. Yeah, it feels like, it may have been something as simple as like, an accident in a playground kind of thing. It doesn't feel like a trauma, like somebody deliberately trying to hurt you or something like that. It feels something that's sort of been sitting in your system for a little while, and then you had a little extra,
Okay.
that sort of activated the pain, or made it that much worse.
Yeah. No, the sharp pain, I've never felt it before, so that's completely new, and it scares me. But, I do have issues with my left hip.
Yeah, and, exactly. Yeah.
But, also I had...
And how long have you had the hip thing?
I think that started in earnest about 6 years ago.
Okay.
But I noticed that there was clicking in the left hip, around that time. And I was wondering what it was. But no one really directly said something. I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't get a whole lot of answers.
Yeah, understood. I'm just trying to see what I think, like I said, that dolphin neurostim thing would be helpful for you.
How do you spell that?
Sorry?
How do you spell that?
Like dolphin, like the thing that does backflips through the hula hoops.
Oh, dolphin electrical stimulation, right?
It's neuro, and Neuro, stim,
Neuro.
STIM.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see what I can tell you that will be useful to you at this time. No, I mean that will be helpful. There's on an emotional level, it's fear. It's fear that's trapped in there.
Okay.
So again, that's something you can work on, be it with a therapist or EFT or energetically, whatever modality you like. That it's letting that go and letting go the feeling of helplessness that was there, that originated in the symptom.
And where do you think that I will find my life path, if you have any intuition with that?
I see you traveling. I don't see, New York's a great place, but it doesn't feel like, I see you giving lectures. I see you talking in front of people.
Oh, that's bizarre because I'm terrified of that.
Well, there you go. That's exactly why you should do that.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, seriously, you'd be a natural. You'd be a natural.
Also,
because you also have that empathy factor going for you. You can sort of read a crowd, you can read people, and know, okay, well, these guys won't be able to understand this much, so let me, without trying to sound pejorative, let me dumb it down, or let me, make it more sophisticated for the dogma people and the jargon people.
Can I say something for Tanya?
Yeah, sure.
So Tanya, what if this fear of speaking is actually just it's actually excitement, and your neurologically excitement and fear, we kind of misappropriate. We kind of, it's very close. So you might be just excited about talking to people in public, and you think it's fear.
Yeah. I think that
because you know your power and what you can do.
I think that my main fear is larger groups. I think one-to-one I'm particularly comfortable, but larger groups.
But I think Tim has a very valid point. A lot of people before they get on the stage or whatever, they feel this hyperstimulation of the nervous system, and they can either interpret that as fear or excitement.
Okay.
And so sometimes just a simple shift of interpretation can mean all the difference between giving a very powerful speech and running for the hills.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you. It was great. Okay. So we've been going so long now. I'll leave it up to you whether we want to take any more calls or you want to talk about something or.
Well, I mean,
So how can people, if you're in Canada?
I also know, not everybody can get on the show, and not everybody can have all their problems solved in 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be reached. You can reach me at my website, Sharon'sAlternatives.com, or it's also Sharmanic. Will lead you to the same source, SHARMANIC, sort of shamanic with an R. I'm happy to be back on if there's a desire another time, so we can always address other people in the future. And I also, there's, for those people who are into healing through mediumship, which is a very cool thing, there's also, as I mentioned, there's Arthur Findlay College in England, but also I've written a book called Merging Mediumship and Healing, which is available on Amazon. And if you're not a Kindle person, I can always if you write to me, I can always give you a PDF copy. It's just $10. And and I teach aura reading. I teach mediumship, psychic development, Reiki. I can help to tweak people's abilities in terms of healing to see how they're channeling energy and help them to refine their skills so they're doing it that much more efficiently. And hypnotherapy, etc. So by all means, be in touch. And if there's anything else you'd like to do, Tim, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I think we've done enough.
Okay.
This is the most actual live callers we've had. We have 11 callers holding, so we're definitely not going to be able to take them all. So we might as well.
I hear you.
While we're ahead.
But I'll tell you what I can do. What I can do is for those callers, for those callers that are still on. So please don't cheat. I will happily give you 5 minutes with me. All you have to do. Again, you said there's how many callers?
There's 11 callers, so we helped.
11 callers. Okay, so there's 11 callers. So for those 11, I will happily give you 5 minutes private time with me. All you have to do is just contact me on the website. Again, sharmatic.com. There's an intake form at the bottom of the first page, and just tell me that you were one of the 11 callers, and we'll set up a time.
Cool. That's great. So yeah, I would definitely like to have you back on in the future. This is the most callers who've called in on the live show, and usually when I look at my stats, for every one caller who calls in, there's actually like 10 or so listening in. So we probably had about 50 people listening in while we had just 11 callers. So this is
awesome.
Great. So yeah, that's great. Maybe I can just ask you, what do you feel the direction I should go with the show? This next month, actually 2 months, I've decided to take on a whole new, I'm doing 4 different calls for Access Consciousness, and we haven't had that on the show yet. And I
that feels
really
very good.
About that. Yeah, me too.
Definitely. Actually, one thing that's coming to mind is actually, I don't know if you've done this before, but what they're telling me you might want to think about is actually having a few practitioners on the same call and having a little, not brainstorming, but I forget the word, where people are just comparing what they would do for a given condition, from a caller, for example. So you have a few heads working on one person.
Yeah, every time I've had Karen come on, we both kind of double team. Like I did with you, with the last lady, I kind of felt something I should say, so I kind of added in my 2 cents. So me and Karen usually do that too on the calls. We both start doing our healing on them. So maybe 2 or 3.
Awesome, and also maybe if you can do something live as well, like you're doing it live, via the web, but also one day in front of other people as well.
Yeah.
Like physically present
I'm in
people.
Japan where no one speaks English, so.
Well, a lot of people speak. I know that a lot of people teach English there, so that I hope they speak some English.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to set up like 4 or 5 free healing seminars, and I had 2 times no one showed up, and the other time one person showed up, and then the third time the person showed up but a day late.
Wow.
So I'm gonna keep trying it, but it's kind of to plan it and put all the ads out and do all this stuff, and then no one shows up. It's kind of discouraging. So I'm going to try it in the future, but maybe I'm going to do. Actually, I'm working with someone who speaks English and Japanese, and then she can translate, so we can do it in.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That might be better.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Great. Okay, so thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I look forward. Yeah, we'll definitely try to get you on in the near future, and I hope everyone who's listening contacts her right away, takes her up on that offer. It's really great. So thank you so much.
Looking forward.
Pleasure. Unless you have a final word you want to say, I'm going to end the call.
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Take care. I'm going to put you on mute, and then I'm going to make final announcements. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Okay. So we have next Thursday, which is Wednesday in the U.S., same time as this call, but 12 hours later. So if you called in and it was your East Coast time at 10:30 in the morning, it'll be 10:30 at night on Wednesday. If you called in from California, it was 7:30 in the morning, it'll be 7:30 at night. If you're like me in Asia, it's now past midnight, and I'm going to get ready to go to bed. But if you're in Asia, it'll be morning time as opposed to night, but 12 hours difference. But next Wednesday, we have the first Access Consciousness Facilitator of 4 that are set up almost every 2 weeks for the next 2 months. So this will be really great. Access Consciousness, I've been using it with a lot of my healing sessions. I've been using it on myself. It's a really incredible modality. The great thing is everyone who listens to the show, whether we can take your call or not, just like we did group healing today. With Access Consciousness, we're going to be running a bunch of processes, and you can actually get healed and get released of all this baggage that you have psychologically, mentally, physically, all these mental programs that are running. You can do that by just listening in. You don't have to actually call in. But we are going to take calls, and we're going to run processes on those people, but it'll basically clear a bunch of negative energy on everyone on the call. So it's really an incredible modality, Access Consciousness, so please stay tuned for that. And then next Sunday, I'll be by myself again answering your calls, doing live healing. So thanks, everyone. I'm going to end the call with, let's see what song I should end the call with. I'm going to end with a little bit of my Chasing Butterflies song from my new CD. So thanks, you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Comes a time when you just